Day 2 of JWHL Canton rolls on. Welcome back here inside Blue Rink. Another exhibition, the same matchup that we had at 7:10 a.m. And hopefully there's a little bit more energy, fight spirit, and all here this afternoon now that you're a little bit more awake, a little after 4:30. 3 20-minute periods. We are underway already, as you see. Winchendon traveling left to right across your screen, and you got North American Hockey Academy Navy going from right to left. Both of these two teams guests of the weekend here in JWHL Canton, squaring off a little bit. Strifer, and now there's a little bit of wiggle room. Maddie Round trying to come on goal. That's knocked off the pads. Into the corner, quick work in. Ella Mead tried to get it loose. Jammed off the boards. Trickles off to this near side corner. Reese Herringer tried to clear the zone. And now a rush coming up on sides. It's Miller into the zone. Comes to the goal and not going to have a shot. Down there in net to start this one, Sinead Beanland, the 2027 goaltender. And we'll talk about NAHAs in just a second here. Defensive ice, here's Bridge on it near side. Banked off the top of the half wall. Waits at the blue line, shuffle it side. Now up off the glass, it falls down. Waiting, here's a little hand-over-hand action. Out towards neutral. Force fed ahead. That'll be scooped up and round at it, tip-off escape. Larson going to hold on along the near boards. On the net, there's Blanchard as she tries that breakout. Thrown in front of the net to the opposite side. Blanchard holds at the blue line. Tracking that one down, Isabella Catch. Roddy has it go in for an icing. So offensive zone draw card up here for Winchendon. Or no, excuse me, North American Hockey Academy. You know how it goes when the days roll on. You get a little complacent and start to mix things up. Just the way it goes. Again, Winchendon left to right here in this first period, in North American Hockey Academy right to left. They switch sides from this morning. The Brain Hots are the home squad, and of course Winchendon is the guest. It was the opposite way this morning in the 6-3 final. Dawson trying to come on goal. Instead, it pops out of the zone, and Cummings chases it down. Miller on the slingshot, going to roll up forward. Hits the boards, and on the tip, going to be no icing. Behind the net, this one will be shot back out high. That one out of the zone. Bloom trying to settle it down. Crossing the red line. And that hits the pads. It's going to be covered up. Face-off will come to the right of the net. Coldunis Aben, the 2026. Chilled in the net. Nudged out of there by Freeman. Tracked down by Herringer. And they'll reset. Got those blue tops on with the white numbers, white letters, a little bit of red and white striping down the back. The pass gets fanned on there by Severs. Held off her jersey. Herringer has it tipping away. McKinley flicked over the center strip. Waiting here in defensive ice. Freeman going D to D. Off the wall. Settle down at center. Break it in. There's the bank, and it's open. Working the wall opposite side. Avery Feet trying to get it through center once more. Little bash around action. And nothing's there. Precourt again turns around. Schreifer. On goal, that'll hit the pads. Through the circle, that'll hit the legs. Worrell drift right, and that comes off the pads again. Track down, Schreifer trying to cut on goal. Couldn't get it loose. Schreifer left circle, and that'll shake the post. Miller slicing and dicing for this one behind the goal. Back in defensive ice. Winchendon will reset. Ryland Bridge circling the cage. She'll bash it off the boards. Doherty, who had a crucial goal this morning. It was a game winner. Is Winchendon able to win it out by a 5-3 score against North American Hockey Academy. 3 late goals. Got the job done. Quick push play beyond center. Bridge through a defensive circle. Rolls up the far wall. That one being diced at. Cartush trying to get it out of there. On net, and that'll hit the glass. Picked up by Freeman. Now Polini standing about center. Holding up at center again. That one flip forward. No icing will come as they'll pinch up behind the cage. Drifting into the zone. Avery Miller trying for a shot. That'll hit the legs. Doherty throws it out through center all the way down, and that's an icing. So we'll have an offensive zone face-off cut up here for North American Hockey Academy. Love to see it. Face-off, left side of the net. Pretty eventful start this morning. We had a goal just 2:23 in. So again, things definitely looking a lot different here this afternoon. Could definitely see a lot more energy and grit as that goes the length for an icing. Face off will come right side of the goal. Up towards center. Dawson couldn't settle that down. Cummins trying to drill it past the center stripe once more. And down on the ice, Avery Fink now going to spring up. Ferguson jets over the blue line. Waits in the high slide. That'll hit the pads. Miller in the corner in an 0-0 game with 12:45 to go, period 1. Don't go anywhere after the first is over. We are going to play the second before we take a break, as that goes the distance for an icing. So 12:37 to go. Face off left side of the goal. Worrell looks around the boards. Precourt now taken down, coming on goal, and the backhand went too wide. Tries to walk the sidewall on net and wide. It'll hit the boards. Out inside the zone. See if they got a chance there, and too much. Saw Kate Roddy take a couple of big swings on goal earlier this morning as well. Well on the boards. As again, that one loose. Miller clears it out of the pile. Tasinki had it put right by her. And that's an icing. A couple of players on this Winchendon roster that are both on their 16U as well as their 19U squads. That one gets freed up. Goldie tripped at the blue line, no penalty. Miller has to get right by her. Cummins waits and pushes it ahead. Schreifer in her own end, forces it off the boards. Miller turns around and watches. Goes all the way in. Not going to go for an icing yet. Schreifer again watches. Miller cutting ahead. Girls in Navy really using the boards to their advantage here. It's that 11 minutes left to go here, period number 1. Out towards center, this will be pushed off the boards. Utah pulls up. She'll wait. The chance, and Schreifer gets denied. Good little dipsy doodle there to go on goal. Brown loses that. And now they'll start to rush. Out to the neutral zone. Brown can't settle through her legs. Shoot it up the other way, and icing gets waved off. Megan Goldie jockeying for some space there behind the cage. Picked up as Kartush desperately looking to clear it out here for North American hockey. Utah a little up from her friends, drops it in. Larson in the corner, lost the edge. Right side, here's a chance. Doherty working the boards, comes on net off the shoulder. They try this one again, and still nothing. Freed, and the defense comes up huge as here's the skate up ice. Reese Herringer comes in all alone over center. They'll complete the change. Herringer trying to whip it on goal. She's not going to head off as of yet. Avery Feet now the lone one up on the forecheck. Mitchell gets over center. Miller over the red line, darts up over the blue line, lost it along the wall. Miller beyond the circle, quick cut on goal and ripped off the shoulder, comes free in front. Over center, breaking on in. Comes Dawson. Dawson all the way behind the goal line, surveys her options, wrapped it up top and couldn't have a tip attempt. Hanging around at center. That one's dumped in. 8:15 to go. Towards the blue line. That one will come out towards center. So center ice draw coming up. This one will want to So in the corner to Sinky. Again tries to work up ice. Stolen away. Can't have a look there. It's Cash and wide left it goes. Laying out. Dunk gets Ab in there and then on net. Long shot on goal. Far side boards out towards blue. Rolls through neutral. Pre-court there. Freeman harassing. It's Prizzuto to me! So 1-0 will be the lead as Orizati gets on the scores board. That side of the circle, Goldie trying to drill it on net. That gets picked up. Reagan Anderson cranks behind the goal line. Schreifer comes to the boards. Trickles behind the goal line. Comes towards center. Buto's going to fumble that. Goldie will track it up, and Fleming goes back to chase. That gets covered. So offensive zone coming up here for North American Hockey Academy. Off the boards, led the other way. Schreifer comes to neutral. Schreifer out towards neutral. Miller waits. That one will come loose, and Round forced it back toward D. Little side passing game. Across the center and slung off the wall. Icy again, waved off is the Brainouts back to grab it. Freed in front, Round off the pads and held on to. Orizati has the lone goal so far. If you just tune in, it's 1-0. Towards the net, Outwood trickles over the top. Inside the zone, that one got fumbled. Cash can't clear the zone. Freeman stands at center. Titsinki goes side. Now up ice, breaking on in. So we'll have penalty call coming up. 4:36 to go. It's going to be a trip call. Miller walking the line, keeps it in. Goldie on net, and that'll hit a body. Miller fans at this one. Goldie drags, and that gets blocked on the way through. Cleared out of the zone, and so Winchendon will kill a few valuable seconds. Up the ice. McKinley there to the net, and that hits the pads. McKinley looking out towards the line. Goldie, putt steal, 50 seconds left to go on the power play. Miller inside the zone. Fed to the circle on net, and able to keep that one out. Beanland's in net this afternoon for Winchendon. Up through the air, a little tip down. Blanchard careful to make sure. Kept it out. 30 seconds now to go on the power play. Again, Warren in the box for a trip. McKinley looking to gently clear it out of her zone. Blanchard takes a hit to the glass. Down to 2:54 to go in period one. Blanchard sent it up top. Warren's going to come out as we're at the 5-on-5. Warren will scoot over center. She goes down, not going to have a call. Out of the zone, this one's going to come. Shoveled through center. Precourt breaks up left wing, and that flies out of play. Minute and 56 left to go. Orzati with a lone goal so far on the Winchendon side. Out of the zone, Iverson, put it past Briggs, and they'll chase up. Winchendon quickly working. Pass all the way to the right of the cage, and rides around to the near side. It's Bella Cash, who had a big goal this morning in the first period. DeSinke. Able to get it past center. Fleming will retreat back to grab this one. Bridge cuts behind the goal line. Wheels up through the circle. Dances through center. Now flicked in deep. So we got a minute to go. Buto will drop it down to the blue line. Able to hold the edge. Freeman quick ups, try to break that. Larson walking at the line. Again kicked and fired and knocked off the glove. Anderson from the right side. That's loose up front and again won't go. Can't get that to go from the dead angle. Schreifer going to try. Schreifer gets tripped up. Stick flew out of her hands. No penalty and she's frustrated. All the way out through neutral. Winchendon forced to go back and retreat. Beanland watches. Looked like she wanted to come out of her crease and didn't. Schreifer crosses center and Meade comes up ahead to try to grab it. Back at it here at Canton Ice Arena. We get ready for period 2 of this U19 exhibition. Two teams on the ice, both guests of this Canton weekend. It's Winchendon and, of course, North American Hockey Academy. Quick scramble on defensive ice. Now set up by Bloom. Polini will get over the blue line. Beyond the left wing side. She's now dragged down. And we're not going to have a penalty. Up through the air. Takes a bounce. Meadle clips that on her twig. Gets over the center stripe. And now Cummins rolls over blue. Crosses center. In offensive territory. Cummins far wall. Tripped up. And we'll get a penalty. So again, 1-0 to score. Zarate, the lone goal. Coming for Winchendon thus far. So, penalty's going to go on Destiny McKinley. Face off right side of the goal. This one being kicked at. Comes out to the point. Polini, backside left wing. Swatted down and can't be held on to by Beanlance. Goldie along the opposite side wall, trying to dance ahead. Polini inside the zone. Fed off and Miller slung over. That one ripped over the net. That'll come down the ice. Crossing the line. Miller flies over the blue line through the circle, looking on net. Miller behind the cage. Again waits. Polini cross ice. And stretched out of the zone. 57 to go. McKinley's on her feet in the box. She's ready to get out. Towards center, Mitchell. Breaks over the blue line. Drags in a high slot and steered aside. Good lift for Junis Abin right there. It's the Captain Fleming dicing it in. 30 to go. Winchendon desperately trying to keep this one on this half of the ice. Goldie looking side. Bloom trying to track the... Miller trying to look on goal. There's a hit behind the net. On the net. Quick dart. That'll hit the shoulder. And again, they'll start this rush, forcing it in the other way. So another clear. Penalty kill was huge before. Off the wall, comes out to the blue line, jabbed up and gets it. Oh, thought it was going to get to the bench. Spoke too soon. Megan Henderson had other ideas. Pull off the boards, back into defensive territory, and here they come resetting. Feek breaks over blue. Feek, left side, all the way behind the goal line, surveys the scene. Up top, that'll chink the glass. Kept in. Blanchard trying everything in her power. Takes a couple of hops. Into the zone, Feek, that hits the leg. Time to go for that deep clapper. Getting out of the zone, Freeman again keeps it in. And here comes Winchendon trying to work it 4-on-3. That'll tip around off the wall. Again, waits at the blue line. Cash there. Jab back. Here's a chance coming on goal. The back in. Polini gets stuffed. Polini rolls to the corner. Anderson hits it down and is able to get it clear. So that's big. Miller resetting here, puts it through center. Polini, backside right wing circle, jazzing ahead. And she's down on both knees. Here goes Winchendon, 3-on-2 into the zone. Working up the left wing side, through the circle, set up, and a chance. Oh, what a save. And off the post, and that's tucked home. So, Junice Abbin finally surrenders one. Ozarati has had her fingerprints all over this one. So, fortunate of her to set everything up there. Track back behind the net, Megan Henderson. Miller will work the far side of the ice. Cuts up over center, breaks the blue line. Miller all the way. She was trying to go to the house. And if you're going to the house, it's always a good time. Especially Grandma's house, because she might have cookies and tea for you. I'm a big chocolate chip guy myself. Can't go wrong with a good no-bake or a peanut blossom either. It's the time of year where you got to think about all those cookies. Cummins gets over blue. Waits in the circle. That one dragged on. Up front and can't get anything to go. Tasha Mitchell going to try up top. So puck gets frozen, play stops, 13:32 to go. Face off, one amongst the boards, chinks the post. Dash right back in, rides up the wall. Feek will force it off the far side. Doherty crosses blue, centered on up. Feek as Doherty throws it. McKinley's round was trying to settle. Henninger over the blue line. Right wing side beyond the circle to the net, and that pops off the pads. Luckily, Winchendon's smart enough to get that outlet as Doherty slung it off the wall. That's freed up. It is Worth trying to get there. Here goes nothing as they'll circle and reload. Short stretch pass comes to Anderson as she shot it down the ice for an icing. So we'll see an offensive zone face-off coming up here for Winchendon. Face-off right side of the cage. One set up with a paddle on the left side. Miller works it near corner. Breaks ahead through neutral. Into the zone. Towards the line, Tatsinki guided ahead. Now Miller shoots it, just missed. So it's trying to throw it under the crossbar. Ferguson loses her edge. Waits around blue and now tripped up and no call. Forced off Fleming, and here's the rush for Winchendon. And up, and that's somehow going to stay down. Takes a couple of hops. Fleming drills it and flies out of play. So face off in the offensive zone. Freeman will track this one back down. Bloom over the blue line, backside left wing circle. Got three right on her. Freeman drifting around. Chinks the post, big hit. Freed up Larson on top of that. Stretch pass, clip a stick up the middle. Polini right back into the zone. She had a good chance to bring it off the post earlier. Sivers tied up along the boards. Precourt will go and chase this one back down. 10-10 to go. Cross at center, working it in. Ridden down the wall. That'll go off the boards. So down around at the blue line. And thrown over the net. It'll pop off the wall. Comes off the pads. Free to the corner. Miller drags in, lost the edge there. Worth was trying to scoop it. Schreifer going to go side. Long one hits the net and got swatted down. Back over center. Takes a couple of bounces. Not going to be an icing. Try it for there by Henderson. Hits the boards. Hanging around at center. Cash working the left wing wall, dropped off, and the spin around. It's the pads. Wrapped up front again, and that's played on too. 7:45 to go. So face off right side of the cage. That one cranked by the net. Big hit along the boards. To Hurdy. Here's a weave for Kate Roddy. Freeman kicked to this one with her skates. Winchendon will shuffleboard it out across the stripe. Roll it back, Cummins plays side off the boards. Kayla Freeman crosses center. We're back to grab that as she'll put it behind her. Freeman stands in the way. Ferguson laid it out there. Roddy puts it off the boards. Now chased back down behind the net. Up through the air with 7 to play. We'll hit in the corner. Cummins as they're desperately trying to free this one up. Trying that rides around. All the way out to neutral. Warren Orzorati head on back for it. Elevated up through the air. That one on net hits the pads. Cross at center. That one gets held on to. Orzati going to turn around again, leaving it in. Schreifer, high slot. And pass on the left side. Avery Miller cuts on the left wing. Elevated. And went out of play. Draw will come left side of the cage. Here comes a 2-on-1. Leftward side, and that's swatted down in front. That's sticked. Schreifer going to pick it up. Miller able to hold her edge. Hold the line. 5:15 to go till our intermission. It's a 2-0 score. Orzati with her fingerprints all over this exhibition contest in 19U's. A little bit of surge at speed, bounce through center all the way, and they'll set it up on the left side. Meet over center, breaks it, 3-on-2. Hanging around at center, worth keeping the edge. Hits the wall as Blanchard keeps it down. And now across the red line. A lot of speed surge up the wall. That one hits the boards and trying to track it down. Isabel Cash beyond the circle, poked away. Wheeling up in offensive territory, cutting up the boards, and can't get that through with Doherty. She now gets hammered. Around kicks at it. Coming up over the line, that one jabbed at. Fleming left it through her tape. And now here's a rush up ice. Off the shoulder, came down. Waiting in the high slot. Goldie spins it around. That'll hit the boards. Polani goes back on her heels. 2:40 to go. Ooh, gonna hold on. Ferguson picking this one off. 2:25 to go. Need a little Taylor Swift type of jazz in here. Music's been pretty upbeat, but it certainly hasn't been. The new album, The Life of a Showgirl, something that my girlfriend Allie Swingo and I certainly hold in high regard. We've both been jamming to that album a lot on our drives and talk about the songs a lot and how relatable Taylor Swift's music as a whole is. Had to give Allie a shout out. She's down in Lancaster this weekend checking out a Christmas show, and we wish you all the happiest of holidays. Did a little shopping too, because you know how it goes. Got to do a little shopping while you're out and about. Fleming in offensive territory. Gotta say, on that album, I really think Wish List and Fatal to Ophelia are my favorites, but that'll clip a stick. Cummins trying to hold that. And now a little trip. Kartush was trying to go beyond center. Through the air, that's tipped out of play. So down to a minute and 23 to go. That'll come off the wall. Tasinki tried to leave it up front. 3-on-2, that's stretched off. Blanchard trying to chase this one down. And not going to be an icing. Racing the other way. That one gets diced at. Freeman, this will go hand over hand. On net, knocked off the blocker. Freed in front with 15 to go, and they can't jam it in. And 2-0 remains to score. They're threatening for one more here before we had a break. Precourt in the eye slot. Swerves over in the far circle. 5 seconds. Probably not going to have a shot. And that is indeed going to run the seconds down as 2-0 will be your score through 2. Winchendon, after a big comeback victory this morning, up again. And we're going to take 12 minutes here on JWHL YouTube. Third period coming up next after the break. Back here to Canton, Massachusetts. What a start to this exhibition contest in the U19s, and we're back underway for the final frame. Whipped off the wall on the far side. That one will be tracked down as Winchendon working left to right for this final period, just as they did in the first. North American Hockey Academy Navy working right to left. Up the board, shuffled on out, coming to center. Banked off the top of the half wall towards center. Cummins towards the line and now broken in. Working it down the left side. That's gloved and going to be held on to. 19:07 to go. Face off far side circle. That one will be shot up off the glass. Out across center, Doherty, backside left circle. It's kicked off the right pad. Drubbed up and deep. It rides around the net. Crushing, that'll hit the glass. On net, going to be wide. A dipsy doodle of a hit. Mitchell lost her edge. And here they come. Worth going to race this one down. That's fanned on. Doherty kicks that one onto her stick and windmills it right back in. 1:45 already running off. Cash. Shoot that one behind the goal line. Dawson tries to scoot up the wall. Cummins can't hold on. And down it'll come as that gets frozen. Donis Aben making sure she's got possession. That one in the circle gets tied up. Miller skating it on out. Crossing over the line, going to break over center. Shoots it off the top of the half wall. That'll be an icing. So 17:62 to go, and North American Hockey Academy Navy going to have an offensive zone face-off. This one will come up the wall. Pre-court as it poke checked away. That'll hit the post. Coming across the line, brought in over the blue line. That gets lost. Down to 16:23 to go. Face-off will be in there. Schreifer out towards the blue line, going to cross center. Left side of the net, they'll try that workout. Shuffling along, Schreifer tries to track that. Back through the circle. There's a little let's-see as it's off the wall. Stretched out across the center stripe. Schreifer's in. Bounced across center. Two to a side, right of the net. Schreifer works it up towards center. Jabbed off the wall and trying to track that one down. Towards the net and stuffed on the left post and held on to. Jonas Abin keeping possession. That one comes past the post again. Through center at the line. That one's jabbed away. Tasinki off the wall, cleared in. 14-15 to go, and it remains a 2-0 score. Big hit to the glass, pops free. Mitchell with a quick up to neutral territory on the backhand, picked off. Bloom at the line, came away. Doherty hustles up the left wing wall. Backhanded off the pads. Behind the net, Freeman looks up. Behind the net, that one gets tracked for by Goldie. Paulini dancing to the net, and what a save. Rodenheiser keeping possession. So face-off will be in the North American Hockey Academy offensive end. Inside the zone, trying to force that one on goal. Cummings shot beyond center. Rolling to the left side of the cage. Skated out across the stripe. Trying to find some room. That comes off the pads. Jonas Abin has been really good down there in the net. So face off in the offensive zone. Winchendon taking it to the left side of Jonas Abin with 12:40 to go. Pass right back in behind the goal line. Now circles, and that one gets fanned on. Would have been quite the chance, and they deliver on the second try. Ella Mead did a lot of work to make that one happen. For Winchendon, it's Megan Precourt who leads the line. Face off back at center ice. Bucho able to get the draw wedge. Up on through that one. Little hit. Mead fumbled out along the boards. Waits out at the line. Schreifer through neutral. Going to cross center. Cash putting it behind her. Jasinki gets hit down from behind. Mead or rush over the blue line. Schreifer in a high slide. Throws it up without play. So face-off will stay on the offensive end. Draw will come. Left side of the cage. Winchendon recovers along the boards. Thrust it into defensive ice, and that's an icing. 11:20 left to go here, period 3. Offensive zone draw here for North American Hockey Academy. All the way down to the right of the cage. Again, quick work in. There's a little dipsy doodle through the circles. Paulini over the red line. Into the zone, high slot, and that's ripped off a skate. Round trying to come the other way. Cummins in her own zone. On net, and what a stop. Donis Abbin still trying to get possession, and finally the whistle's going to come with 10:40 to go. Face off to the right side of the net. In the zone, Paulini trying to stand in the way. She went down and the puck stayed out. Cummins trying to force it up ice, takes a couple of skips. Now again through the circle, comes off the pads, doing this Abbott. Now wrapped and good stick action. Paulini rushing up ice. Cuts over blue, lost the edge there, standing at center. Dropped over the stripe. That one tipped by a goalie. Dawson couldn't quite get there. Hottie lost her edge. All the way back down behind the goal line. Winchendon going to set up from deep. Bridge tries to start the charges up ice. Hanging around at the line. Schreifer goes down. Towards the net, there's a little drag. And now coming into the zone. Just wide, Herringer going to pick up the change in the corner. Avery Feek, in her stick in there, a little 2-to-a-side battle. Finally out of the pile it comes, down to 9 left to play. Pass Freeman up ice through neutral, all the way back down. Henderson circles, trying to feed it on over. Right in, there's a little hit. Where's Arati? Put it in front of her. Deacon to that, the backhand and in! Another good one there for Megan Precourt, her second, and it's 4-0. Face-off will be back at center ice. Buto able to sling that bat clean. Knifed up through the air and going to get into the North American bench. Offensive zone face-off, left side. Buto winning that bat clean. Steered around the wall to the near side boards. Schreifer bounces it over blue. Waiting, Miller spins the boards. Buto over center into the zone. Backside left wing circle. Up to the middle. And no shot comes. Cash in the corner. Flicked out. Larson inside the zone. Forced on goal. That'll hit a twig. Larson waits at the blue line. And send to her right side. And they're going to be offside. Neutral zone face-off here in Canton. 7:53 to go. Again, an exhibition. Winchendon a 4-0 lead. Very commanding score here in this one. Tied up off the draw. Miller putting it up ice, hits the boards. Schreifer all the way behind the goal line. Tracks that one down in the far corner. Big hit, and puck's going to pop free. Cummins. Helini on top of that. Little turnaround is Sugar over center. Towards the middle. Here's a chance, 3-on-1. Delayed penalty coming off the twig. And little touch up. So whistle, 6:53. Make it 6:52 rather. As we approach the end of this hockey game. So it'll be 2 minutes for hooking on Buto. And we'll need a new puck. Out to the line. Miller going to cut left. Goldie almost fumbled it. Picked off up the middle. Hits the boards and back through neutral. Chased down for you by North American Hockey Academy. Almost blew a tire, and that's going to pop off. And we're getting another penalty. So it'll be cross-check. So Polani heads into the box. And it's even strength for 1:40. Brought out, that'll hit the wall. Doherty trying to crunch it to the middle. Instead it's tracked down. Goldie leads through the circle. Lost off her skates. Spun to the boards. Now this one all down. Quick slice and dice action, crossing center. Goldie right there. Coming on goal, Doherty. And that's blocked. A little spin around over the net. McKinley thrown on goal. And there's 55 seconds left to go in the 4-on-4. And we'll head to a very short Winchendon power play. It'll be for 20 seconds. Round, trying to set up shop there. Instead, North America skated it out as they'll bring over center. A little swerve backwards. Cross and center. Into the quarter. Now again, Blanchard stands in the way. Throws it high to the back. 8 to go in the 4-on-4. Winchendon trying to make a change here. McKinley. 4-on-4 is going to end down. Butuck comes out of the box. And so it's a 5v4. She gets to the bench. Winchendon will load up here, trying to look for an opportunity. Slid in front, and nobody knew where to go. Now elevated, going to hit the boards. Comes all the way down through neutral. 5 seconds, and Polini will be out. She's going to open the door, and out she comes. So we're at even strength. Dawson stands on the red line. Rhodey back beyond the left side circle. Cuts down in. Trying to force it up top. Nothing was doing. North American hustling out through center. Miller gets tripped up. That'll hit the boards. Comes all the way right back down over center. And get a whistle. 4:06 to go. So offensive zone here with 4:06 to go. Zinke takes his draw. He's able to win it clean. Cuts back in deep behind the net. Precourt has got 2 goals in this one, including a beauty of a backhand, one of the highlight reels of the weekend. Rosati to the high slot. She's been very active today as well off the pads. Change the glass. Swatted on down. Swung right back in, and now North American will set up. Wheeled up on out. Standing at center, 3:30 to go. Into the net, that goes. 3:21. So we get an offensive zone face-off. Now we'll circle around. Polini holds in the corner. Dip to the middle, little skate. Goldie waits at the line. Buto trying to hold the edge. Anderson coughs it up. Goldie going to come in all alone, trying to break up the shutout to the forehand, and she can't deliver. And Polini going to try. Backhand, and again won't go. 2:30 left. Goldie in the corner. Out of the zone, that'll cross the line, 2:08. And there's a whistle for an icing. The offensive zone face-off coming up. This one won and thrown over the net. Near side wall, tossed out across. Blanchard was trying to get there. Quick little stick work. Round beyond the right side circle and can't drill it home. Comes on out, taking a hop to Doherty and going to get covered. 1 minute and 47 left. That one won out in front. Can't get it through. Larson drilling it on goal. Going to come wide left. 90 seconds to go. Miller looking around. Sets up Larson. She'll skate out through neutral, crossing center. Into the zone she comes. Hits the pads. That'll be settled down. Mitchell throws a hit. Cash through the air, bounces around at the line. Larson again right back in as we're down to 1 minute to go here in regulation and a 4-0 Winchendon score. Precourt, the most impressive player on the ice. She'll be your first star for Winchendon for sure with a pair of goals. And as I said, a beautiful backhand that you won't see too often. 45 seconds. So down along the boards. Now wheels back. Cummins in her own end. That'll hit the boards. Secchi, 25 seconds. It'll be dumped out of the zone. Winchendon back to chase. Icy gets waved off. Stretch it up the ice. Cummings, side to side. North American Hockey Academy trying in for one last rush. Pellaney is the second to wind down. And that's going to do it for this one. Winchendon going to walk away with 2 victories today against the Coach Miano led North American Hockey Academy Navy. So they put up a good fight, gave it their best. But again, what an effort gets this job done for Winchendon today. They come out here early in the morning and get the job done. So then why not come back and do it in the afternoon and do it again? So score combined, 9 goals between the two, and they also pick up a big shutout victory. So that's going to do it for us here on this one. JWHL Canton weekend just going to continue on, and we will catch you back here for the next one coming up shortly.